It brought back the series to its traditional roots: exploration, horror. Also, the first Resident Evil in first person, aside from the rail shooters that are spin offs. I think this game was also not. I don't want to say like critically well praised, but it was like, this is a step in the right direction. Classic Resident Evil is alive. It's here and it's in VR. Like, I remember playing the demo. They did a demo to this, the Resident Evil 7 teaser demo, and the internet went crazy. This was after post PT, so this is after Hideo Kojima did PT for the PS4 before he left Konami, and a bunch of his team from Konami that didn't follow him to Kojima Productions were scooped up by Capcom, and we're like, this is the next Resident Evil. We want to incorporate you. Let's build upon that. We're trying to go in that direction. So they joined that and they helped influence the development of this game. And boy, did it show. So that demo was like, I remember going through it so many times, trying to find secrets like that no one else had found, and then I would check message boards and stuff. And people would be like, oh, we just figured out that you could do that. And did you know that you could do, there's this book and then the riddles are coming out. And if you solve them, another one comes out and be like, oh, shit. Now I got to go turn the game back on and do the thing. And then it would re-spark my excitement and the mystery to try to find something new that no one else has found. I was like, oh, we don't know what to do with the dummy finger. It does something. Oh, man. It's almost akin to like a video game scavenger hunt. Almost. It's like, here's a list of things, go find them. So many secrets. Oh, I got hooked. I was like, I am ready for this game. that only further influenced. It's like, reminds me why I love this series. Capcom, they keep doing it. That's an easy A tier. Now, I would say I would put it in S, but again, unlike that, oh man, I almost do want to put it in S, but I know it's not quite RE4. But if you can play Resident Evil 7 in VR, do it. You owe it to yourself to experience it the way. That's man mode. If you played this game in VR, first playthrough, congratulations, you did it on man mode. You have my respect. Because you can play this game without it. Oh man, I've seen people play it the first time. I'm like, if only you could play this in VR. Like, you'll never know. You'll never know. It's almost like you're, what's a good analogy? It's like, I don't know. It's like buying, I don't know, a really fancy dinner, and then realizing that you already ate and that you can't enjoy it all. So if you can, play this in VR. It'll change your life. Made me a believer. And it restored a lot of people's faith in Capcom that they could make good video games. Because I think this was also in a period when Capcom was hurting for money, and at one time they were almost going to go bankrupt, and people were worried about Capcom. Like, they're doing a bunch of mobile games, their fighting games aren't really being released, we don't know anything post Street Fighter 4. This game began to make things right. So, Code Veronica. I don't really feel comfortable rating Code Veronica because I haven't beat it. I have played it, but I've never played it through to completion. And from what I've heard from friends that have played it, cousins and stuff, they say it's good. Definitely not the best, not the worst, but they say it's good. I'd have to imagine it would probably be right next to RE0, but I haven't played it, so I'm not going to pass judgment. I'm not going to give it a bad name. I don't know. I might like the game. Now here we go. RE Remake. That's an A. Easily an A. This is, I think, one of the first video game remakes ever. Again, originally released on GameCube. I played it on PS3. And they'd updated so much. That's like at that up till that point, I was like, you can just remake video games? That's a thing? What does it even look like? Cutscenes, voice acting. This set the expectation, I think, for remakes today. Like, you at least have to be equal to what this did in its heyday, or you ain't doing it right. So when I went back and played it, I'm like, this is, again, so much time has passed since I played the original Resident Evil, where it's like, I've heard great things about remake. I'm gonna give it a shot. Let's see what all the you know, all the fuss is. Instantly took me back to like, all right, the cheesy dialogue's still there. Everything looks good. The mansion, the way it like should be looking, the way I imagined it, like in my head, like I don't know how else to explain it other than looking at this game is like, that's how this game looked to me the first time I played it. I'm like, oh, this is how I saw that game. I think this is how Resident Evil sees itself. That's how I saw it. As opposed to everyone else, it's like polygons. Look at those triangles and squares and codes. That's like I saw this game when I played that game for the first time, and then seeing what they could do. You know, complete voice acting, everything redone. I was like, oh man, this is almost a game changer again. This is like, all right, Capcom, you're on to something doing this. You've started something. Pretty much everything is almost intact, from dialogue, puzzles. It's just, I'd say it's like, it's almost like if Capcom went back in time. It's like, if we could do the game over again, we would do the same things, we would just do them better. And that's Resident Evil Remake. And this game has been re-released so many times. Just like RE4, this has been ported to everything. You can get this PS3, GameCube, PS4, PC, Switch. And I think when this game drops to like $5, something stupidly low, I'll pick it up again for Switch and play it there. It's like, this is an easy, like, no-brainer. Resident Evil on the go. No-brainer. It's everything I loved about Resident Evil, but I'm more... I've grown up since the little ego that played this. And I know a whole lot more about Resident Evil, so I could enjoy it that much more. Nostalgia. Seeing everything redone, remade. It's just, it left a very lasting impression. And again, more to talk about when we get to RE2. Easily A. Easily A. Tons of hours I spent playing as Jill, playing as Chris. Again, at this point, speedrunning is already a thing, so I'm like, oh man, back in the day, I used to speedrun, and I was like, this kind of like, speedrunning Resident Evil games. It kind of like sowed more of like the, I inceptioned myself. I was like, I think I can do that. I used to do that. I remember doing that for fun. People do that for like a living. World records and such. I think this is one of the games that like, I started to pay attention to the speedrunning scene, Resident Evil, learning strats, how to really play the game, what to look for to get good. Easily A. There we go. If I loved Resident Evil 2, then Resident Evil 2 Remake, god damn, did I enjoy. Not only do I speedrun this game, continue to speedrun it, thanks to challenges and whatnot, but this is a hell of a game, period. Again, this is remake done, but to the next level. This is like, there's something beyond, there's a level beyond Super Saiyan? Resident Evil 2. Already a game where I enjoyed so much of playing through it on my PSP, PlayStation version. I was like, alright, pretty faithful. Not an exact one-to-one copy, but updated. The performance, the graphics, the exploration. It's like, again, the same effect I had playing the remake of the original Resident Evil is like the same kind of thing I had with between Resident Evil 2 OG and the remake last year. Phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. I think this is easily S tier. I play this game so much. I have played it so much. Learning to speedrun. Beating the game the first time. Oh. The scares. Talking about Mr. X terrifying, running around. I think I did this. Oh man. Yeah, I want to say October. I did my first ever. No, my second speedrun. The only other speedrun I've done on stream is my assisted speedrun, Digimon World 3. But this is one I felt so confident, and I learned the strats that I did it on my own, and we did it in a single stream. It was like about a 4 or 5 hour stream. Now I'm gonna go back to this game to do a sub 150 run, maybe next week. We'll see. Oh man, but this game. To seeing what they could do again. Capcom was like, if we go back in time, redo Resident Evil 2, we do the same things, but we just do them better. It's remixed just enough. That it's still fresh, even if you've played RE2, that you can find new things to enjoy. So much fun with Resident Evil 2. And again, there's no multiplayer. It's just campaigns, but you get technically 4, just as it was in the original Resident Evil 2. You can do Leon A or his second runner, Claire A or her second runner, which is more or less the same. You just flip the characters around. The canonical playthrough is Leon A, Claire B. So you get the full scope of the story. But oh man. Learning to speedrun this game. Oh. That made me good. I've learned so much about... Damn. Another win. 5th again. Ah. So close, Timcare. So close. I've had such a good time with RE2 Remake. It's kind of the same discussion where we had at the end of 3. I was like, oh man, out of like 50 squads. Almost there. You gotta keep the dream alive, Timkara. Keep the dream alive. As I was saying, there's so many different ways, things you can do in this game to keep you busy for dozens of hours. That I did. I've done everything. I've gotten everything in this game. I've done everything. I did the DLC. This is like another Resident Evil. I kind of know like the back of my hand. Like, there's very few things that I can't do. And this is probably going to be... It's always a joy to play. Like, every time I pick this game up and show it to someone, I always get the urge to like, let me play it again. It'll only take me 2 or 3 hours. Let me play it again. I think my first playthrough of Remake, I probably somewhere between 15 and 20. And then to get a 15 to 20 hour playthrough down to 2 or 3 hours, that's pretty damn impressive for me. And I learned it by myself. Again, speedrunning scene, Resident Evil, everyone was talking about. This was my personal game of the year last year, for a year that was definitely crowded. So many stupidly good games last year. And I think this is the one that edged out, even above DMC5, only because I have a lot of love for the Resident Evil series. And I was introduced to it not only way sooner than Devil May Cry, but it's kind of ingrained in my mind. This is, I don't know, it's just left such a lasting impression. It's such critically acclaimed. It put so many people to like, what if they ruin it? I think this is like Capcom randomly announced that's like, oh yeah, we're making RE2, and everyone's like, what the hell? RE2? You're remaking it? Thinking what this game would be. I remember when they released the demo, they had to lock people out. You had 20 minutes and you could only play it once. And people legit were making different accounts on Xbox, PlayStation, on PC. See what could be explored, or how fast you could beat it. It's like, this is another, and I was right there with them again. This is another day one. I was there to see everything play out, to relive the Resident Evil memories that I had as a kid. I was like, oh, this is the right amount of nostalgia. It's like, for which one? Resident Evil 2 remake. So these two games, and I guess it's no coincidence that two of my favorite Resident Evil games ever both have Leon as the protagonist. And I think any game that has Leon is either S or A. But yeah, that's oh, I forgot. I have beaten Resident Evil Revelations. So this is it's kind of in the same vein. I'm gonna give this a B. I have played this. I played this on my 3DS. I bought a 3DS just to play this Resident Evil game. And again, I wasn't there day one, but I was like, Leon is by far my favorite protagonist. Same here. Ever since I played 4. I mean, I always thought he was cool when I played 2, but goddamn, when I played 4, not to mention the movies. Oh, I could get in talking to the movies. Maybe another day, another stream, but I got a 3DS just to play this game. Like, I broke my one rule. It's like, I never buy a console for one game. I have to have a fair amount of games to keep me invested. And that's when I was like, I bit the bullet and I bought a system to play just that game, and really only that game. I of course played other games, but like, I had a system and I used it exclusively just for that. It was my Resident Evil machine for a while. And for a handheld, again, this game has been ported. I think it's 3DS, Wii U, Switch, PS3, PS4. Very good. I almost want to put it A, but I don't think it's A. The only thing that's holding it back is that it is a handheld game. So even with when they updated the graphics, there's still some parts of, like, you can tell this is a handheld game. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It's the return of Jill and Chris for a BSA adventure. I believe this takes place between 4 and 5, if I remember correctly. Self-contained. It's on a tanker. You get kind of like more of the Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil